Good morning, guys. Well, it's actually afternoon. Welcome back to the Paper Lion. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a fun little tutorial. It's an interactive piece. It's an accordion pocket journal space, and if you stay to the end after this one, I'm going to show you a bonus way you can use this. As you can see today, I'm working in green. I love green. Green is my favorite color. And I didn't have a journal that I had started per se after a Vintage Sweetheart. That was kind of my last one. So I just kind of threw together a quick little ribbon journal, a 2-hole ribbon journal. If you guys want to, have any questions about that, you can let me know. So it's something really simple. I may end up, I actually love it. So I may end up rolling with this one and actually turning it into an actual one signature journal. I've got some of my turmeric paper in there, of course my coffee dyed paper, and if you guys haven't seen my video with my super easy gold gilded pages, you should look in my videos for that. I'll try to leave a link in the description if I remember to, but that's fun. I added some little gold because there was some gold pops in the color. And if you guys were here yesterday for my first episode of Quiet Time Crafting, you would have seen me create this envelope that I decided to use for the cover on this little journal. This one, it was, like I said, it was an envelope, so I just cut like the little flap off and just turned it into my my focal point on my journal. But before I get to the tutorial, you guys know I talk. One thing I will mention about the Quiet Time Crafting, I know the time on it was a little excessive. It was like 2 hours and 2 minutes, and I got a little carried away. But from now on, when I'm doing those, I'm going to be having like a timer kind of on the side just to keep have an idea of how much time and how fast I need to go, because I want to try to keep those between an hour, hour and a half. No longer than an hour and 45 minutes, because I know everybody has time constraints and stuff like that. But really quick, I want to show you guys, I was so inspired by yesterday's episode that even off camera, I ended up doing more pieces. So I just wanted to show you guys that, because some of these pieces I think I will actually use in this little journal because they just fit. They just fit. But anyway, I did this little one, like a little insert card journaling space. That one, it turned the pea soup into hard green ice, which is perfect. And then this little piece of bridge, and it with a little saying, "Owl kept on walking." And then I made some more envelopes, and I am totally in love with these. And after looking at these envelopes, I realized that I could probably have turned these into greeting cards, but I didn't. I still possibly could if I get the inkling to. But anyway, I'll show you this real quick. I thought that one was sweet. I used some like little faux pieces of greenery that I had cut off the stems of some flowers that I was using for making hair bows. And look at that. Oh, that's so cute. I really love these. If you were here, you saw the stamp that I was using. I just bordered that out and put that in the frame. It just looks so cute. I just love these. And so and this one, I took a little little saying out of the book that it was in. And then that one. But anyway, let's get started, because I always talk too much. But if you guys like the little ones that I just showed you, and you'd like to see the other ones that I made on camera, make sure you go back and look at my first episode. It's in the playlist Quiet Time Crafting. And now I'm 5 minutes into the video and I haven't done anything. So let's get on with the tutorial. Welcome back to my current subscribers. If you're new here, make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe, and become one of my friends, because there's all kinds of things you can learn from this channel. I do a lot of different things, so there's no one thing. But anyway, let's get to it. Like I said, what we're going to be doing is an interactive pocket accordion style journal. Pocket, excuse me. So basically, what you're going to need to do is know how big your pocket is. So, do I have my ruler? Yes, indeed, I do. So we are going to measure roughly. The pocket needs to be a little less than 5.5 for this one, 5.5 wide. And on the first one, we are going to make it, we're going to need 2 pieces of paper for the pocket that are going to be exactly the same size for this first one. Well, actually, for the first one, I'm getting into the bonus. The first one, we're going to need it to be a little bit off from the first one. You'll see what I mean in a second. And you're going to kind of want to need your first one deeper than the second one is what I mean. And you'll see why in just a second. So we had 5.5 wide that we need to go. So let's cut this to which side? Yes. Hope everybody is having a good week. So we're going to go just a little less than 5.5 wide. Okay. And I'm going ahead and cutting enough to make both pockets. And so we got it wide enough this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this top one, and they can vary how deep you want them, just as long as the top one is a little bit smaller. So let's do a 3-inch pocket. No, let's do a 2.5-inch pocket for the first one. And then we're going to do a 2-inch pocket, a little less than 2-inch for the second piece. Okay. In this project today, I didn't tell you what you're going to need, but what you're going to need is some die cuts. I like using die cuts, but you're going to need some that are more on the stiff side, like a heavier one. I mean, you could also use a button for this. You could use a lot of different things, but I'm working with like a heavy cardstock die cuts today. Also, you're going to need some little Velcro tabs, and the rest is just simple stuff. Oh, and of course some paper. Now, with this one, the first one, you are going to need let's see, you're going to need a piece of paper, like a journaling spot piece of paper. And you also could, you need your regular cardstock. You can use 6x6. I'm not using those today. But what we are going to do is make sure that this is going to be the same width as that, or it can be a little bit below. It does not have to be exact, as long as it fits within these pockets, okay? So what we're going to do, this is going to be our main pocket right here. So let me go ahead and get some ink on that one. You don't have to worry about giving it a divot or anything like that. And I did this once on my own, guys. So I have like a little tester that I did. I do things once, and so I don't really do them again until like I'm on camera. So if I make a mistake or get a step out of place, I will let you know. All right, so now that we have this, we got making sure both of these are the same width. Now you could come back and round your corners if you want to, because this is going to be the one that's on the top. So let me go ahead and do that. I have a tendency to round my corners after I've already inked it, which is working against myself. So we're going to make sure that these are going to be like this. And then we're going to take our piece of paper, and we're going to be like, if your paper has a pattern on it like mine does, we're going to make sure that we start with the pattern on the upper side. And so we're just going to give this a fold, making sure it's as straight as possible and as flat as possible. So you probably will want to go over this with your bone folder. And then from there, we're just going to accordion, make it into an accordion, folding it back and forth. Making sure we keep those lined up. Okay, and then we're going to make our last little fold. It is important that whatever piece of paper that you're using is that you have one fold like this and then your other fold. You don't want both folds like flipped over that way, if that makes sense. And you'll see why in just a minute. Okay. I probably could have went a little bit thinner on the fold just because this is a little shy and there's going to be a little piece sticking, but that's okay. We won't worry about that too much. So what we're going to do is get our first pocket down. And of course, we all know how to put a pocket down. We're just going to glue 3 sides. This tutorial is very simple. I try to give you guys simple tutorials, but I do have a couple complicated ones that will pop up every now and again. But I think that like when you're journaling, it should be fun. You don't want to be doing something that you gotta know geometry for and trigonometry to get a pocket. All right, so now that we've got this first pocket down, now we're going to start attaching. Can you guys see where we're going with this? Okay. All right, so we are going to attach, we're going to glue this part right here. And if you want to ink up your papers or whatever, now is the time to do it. I'm not going to worry about that one for this little one right here. I don't think it needs it. I mean, but that is your preference. And we are just going to make sure we line this up. I mean, you can, once you start doing this and you get proficient with it, you can do, you'll be able to find different ways to do this. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. So what we're going to do is just make sure that we have this lined up to the top of this pocket. I hope you guys can see that. So we're just going to push it to where it lines up to the top of this pocket, or as close as you can get it. All right. And so now we're going to make sure again that that's burnished, because we're fixing to come through and glue this part to this one. And of course, you guys can use whatever paper, like I said, you want. I just happened to have this and I thought it would fit with this little theme on the cover that I had going on, so I decided to use it. It was from one of my hauls that you guys probably saw me do on my channel. And so we're just going to add a little bit of glue. And then we're just going to come down with our second piece, and we're going to make sure, just like with the paper, that it is lined up perfectly with our first pocket. Right? Everybody with me? And like I said, I have a little bit going on out. When you do yours, you can line it up. But, a little bit of imperfection is okay. All right. So we're making sure that our paper is glued to there. And this is what we have so far. is an accordion journal spot, right? So there we are. You can leave that there. You can stamp this, you know, leave it like that if you want to. But this is what I've been doing, or what I did on the first time. So we got our little accordion, you know, blah, blah, blah. So what I did I want to use this one? Maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead and use this one. See how down here we left this little lip? We are going to add our sticky little piece of paper, of our little thing. We're going to put them together, and we're going to add a little glue, and we're going to give it a minute just to catch that glue. I hope that's centered. These things are quite sticky, so let's use that, which that didn't help. Well, yeah, it did. Okay, clear up any little excess glue, and then we're going to go ahead and give a dollop of glue to this. And where is my, we're going to glue this part to this upper flap while we're waiting for that. So we're going to go ahead and glue enough glue to get it on this part. And want to make sure we line it up. Just to make sure that we're getting this where it needs to be. Okay. That looks about right there. So then we can just glue that part. Alright, and now we can bring that down and connect it to that. Now that will keep that in place. And then you can close your journal, and you got an extra little pocket. Let's see, let's stick some of the little things that I made yesterday off in one. Actually, let's stick this one off in there. Yeah, I'm a little peeking. No, I think those were two of, let's try. How about this? I'm so indecisive. Sometimes that little pink will go with that. All right, so that's one pocket done. And we'll come back in a second, and once this has had a chance to glue and stick, and then I'll show you that one. Now, if you're still here, I told you I'd give you a bonus one. And this one is even more interactive than that one. So let's say I have this one on this side. So let's go ahead and put this one over here somewhere. Okay. So basically, since both of my pages are roughly the same, we're going to move this out of the way. And we're going to actually I think I will, let me see. This is a 6 by 6. So we're going to do the same measurements with this one because there is a little bit of pink in the cover. So I'm using a 6 by 6 on this one. So we're just going to, like with the other one, bring it a little bit less than the 5.5. All right. Now, this one, we're going to cut these exactly the same. Of course, again, you can do whatever you want when you start learning these. So the first one is going to be cut at 6 inches, which should leave me 6 inches. So they should be the same. Perfect. All right, we'll go ahead and bring this journal back and go ahead and ink these edges. Again, you don't necessarily need a divot or whatever for this one. Now for this one, you will need 2 die cuts and you will need some ribbon. I can't wait for you guys to see this one. This is such a little cute one. Am I going to round my corners again? Probably so. At least on the top one. On the bottom one, you don't really have to do anything, but as you know, I kind of like rounded corners on my things, and I always, like I said, end up doing it like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our first pocket down, and I feel, yeah, that's upside down. So let's just make sure that that's going to fit pretty well. This one seems to be a little shorter, but I can go through at the end and shave those off, so it's not a big deal. All right, so again, we're just gonna glue our 3 sides. Just like a regular pocket. Making sure we get that burnish down so we have a good connection. But guys, I really enjoyed doing the quiet time crafting, and it's going to be such a good little series. Like I said, I won't always be making stuff. Well, I'm going to be gearing this one mostly to the quiet time crafting, geared mostly towards journaling stuff. I do make other things, but I think I want to, since my main channel is built around junk journals, I think I'm just going to keep it isolated to the stuff that I make for my journals. But so yeah, make sure you join me for those. I'm going to try to get out one a week, just to make sure, you know, we're all getting our good crafting time in. I think you should craft at least once a week if you can. Okay, so I want to keep this really creamy edge on here. So I'm going to measure this one a little bit less than what I did for the pocket, because remember, we want to keep it inside the pocket. We don't want it to go over in width. So I'm going to just do a little bit right under the 5 on here and just trim that off. Of course, that's a great scrap for later. All right, now let's do our fold again. We're going to use this as our top, so we're going to make sure we fold that one over first. This one is so wide, I don't really have to worry about, you know, the fold on this one. You'll make your folds according to how thick you make your pockets. I could have actually made these pockets skinnier or like less, but I wanted to go with big pockets. So just to make my measuring easy. And so then we're just going to accordion this one like we did with the other. Making sure that we end with our pocket opposite to this flip. So both of these should be flipped this way. You wouldn't want to end with your pocket flip, with your piece of paper flipped up that way. And even if it doesn't like make a complete fold, that is perfect, as long as your last fold is going the opposite way than your first. I really hope that's making sense. So they both basically should be opening in the same direction, like making a W. See how that is? So we started with this one, and the other one is coming down the same way. All right, let's get some glue on this back flap, because we're going to get that back flap glued down to this one. Again, it's Thursday already. I cannot believe the week has gone by so fast. And I know there's still a couple of things that I need to get out, and I keep wanting to get them out, but right now I'm in the middle of moving from, I'm moving to storage. So I'm having a difficult time, trying to do all the things that I want as far as videos. Someone has requested a seam binding. I still got to get that done. Just haven't found the time to sit down and commit to that one this week. But I do try to get at least one tutorial out a week. So that was my focus for this week. One of my subscribers also asked me to do a tutorial on some fairy lantern paper clips that I've made in the past, and of course I want to get those out. So those are things I should be finished moving from storage to storage on Monday. So I may not even get a video out on Monday, but then that'll give me more time, and then Mother's Day will be over, so that'll give me more time to kind of focus on the tutorials that I need to get out again. So that's why I want to make it opposite, make like a W, that way when you open it, it opens out correctly. All right, so let's get some glue on this one. And I find it's a good idea to, put the glue on the paper. That way your glue is only going where you need it. If I were to put glue on here, it could end up sticking to here, or, vice versa. Now we're going to make sure we're lining this up with our existing pocket. Now so far, basically this is almost exactly like the one I showed you before, just different dimensions, different paper. This one doesn't have the lip cut into it. All right, so we're going to just make sure that's burnished. And of course you can come back through and stamp this or whatever you want to do with that. And so now we have our journaling spot in there. All right, now here comes the great interactive part. We're actually going to flip this page over, making sure we haven't, oh, did I glue it too little? Okay, yeah, that was a little bit, I know. See, I told you that pocket was a little bit long in the first, so some of that glue actually came and stuck to that one, but it's not too bad. Guys, we make mistakes. Anyway, you make your mistake, you recover from it, and you keep going, right? Okay, so now we're on the back side of this one. You're wondering, how are we going to keep that from flapping around? Well, guess what? I'm going to show you. Here is where your second little, and on this one, I'm going to be using this one, a little small one, and I'm going to try to give that a little ink. This is where this and the ribbon comes into place. I'm just going to be using this ribbon. First, I'm going to glue this ribbon to the back of here. Can anybody guess what I'm doing? All right. Well, I guess you'll see in a second. We're going to glue that behind there. Okay, once you have that in place, we're going to add some more glue all over. We need a generous amount of glue here. And we're going to center this on our page. Okay, I'm going to burnish that, make sure that's good. Now, Once we got that in place, we're going to come down here, making sure this is taut. We don't want this to be loose. We want this to be tight. And we are going to glue this in place down here at the bottom of the page. Okay? You guys with me so far? We don't want it too tight to where it makes the page buckle, but we do want it nice and flat, right? All right, let's give that a second to dry. Okay. Give that a second. Now, we're going to flip back over to this page. And we're going to measure roughly about where we want to put our second die cut. Right? You guys see that? So I think I want my lace to be a little bit shorter than that. So we're going to cut my lace here. Where did I put my scissors? Okay, now I know I had scissors on this table. Okay, where did my scissors go, guys? Oh, here they are behind me. Okay, so we're going to cut that to where we want it to go. All right. And then we're going to glue. We're going to put a little strip of, making sure we're getting it on the right side. Can you guys see that? Making sure we have some glue here. All right, now the only difference on this one is we are not going to be gluing the die cut directly to the pocket on this one. So instead, what we're going to do is take our piece, put it together, and we're going to glue that right there in the center. These things are super sticky, but I don't know how long the stick is over time. That's why I'm adding the extra glue. Okay, and then we're going to add some glue to the top like we did the first one. And now we are just going to bring that up and put that right there in the center. And we are going to give that time to glue. Now, what you have done, what you have just created is well, we'll come back. Let's hold off on that one for a second. Give it a chance to stick and glue. Let's go back to the first one we created. Now, with this being glued in place, that will keep that one down. And boom, there's your accordion extra journaling space. You can write down here, you can write on your little pocket, and then of course they can also write on this back side. And then when they're done writing, they can come back and secure it and use their pocket. Let's give this one a little bit more time, but we'll give that time to glue, but we'll look at what we created on the back side. We created a belly band on the back side of the pocket. And so we can stick our little pieces in there to be held in place, you know, and then once you flip it over, I don't know if this is glued completely yet. It's not. So let's leave that for a minute. We got a minute, right? Ooh. While we let that glue, let's see, what can we talk about? I don't know. Where are you guys getting your supplies from, like your freebies, for instance? I know we all buy stuff from online, but where do you guys find a good spot to find like free stuff, like scrap papers and things like that? I did mention to one of my, I don't know if everybody knows, but I picked this tip up from someone. I don't remember where I picked it up from, but I'm just, so I'm going to just share it and pass it forward. But going to the post office, people throw their, they open their mail, they cast it aside. You can always get great envelopes from there. Sometimes even some people, because like at the little post office where I used to work, sometimes people didn't want like the magazines that they would get, and they would just throw them away. And sometimes they were like, garden magazines or nature magazines, and those are always perfect for stuff that you can cut out and repurpose. I still don't trust that one yet, so let's give that one a few more minutes. But you can always find different things, like even at the grocery store. The like if you get the paper bags, you can take the paper bags and those are free. You can, if you don't buy something, I'm stuttering here, you could go up to a cashier and be like, hey, can I buy a bag? Sometimes they might, at Aldi, I know they charge you for bags, but like at the regular grocery stores, you go in there and you ask for a bag, and they'll just like, okay, here. And then you grab that bag, you take that bag, you go home and cut it up, and you got some great craft paper to turn into tags, to turn into tuck spots. So that's a freebie that pretty much anybody can get. At the libraries, I'm pretty sure that there are some times where books are thrown. You can go talk to the library and ask them, are they gonna be throwing out any damaged books? So if those would probably be free to little or nothing, because they're just gonna trash them anyway. And then you're also saving a little bit of history by doing that. And then let's see. You can even, there's free leaves, there's free flowers. If you go and, grab a flower off the side of the road, press it between some wax paper or parchment paper for a few days, put something heavy on it. Those are free materials that you can glue into books. You can take those and put them behind, like the little like the plastic packaging that you get. I've done that, where I'll take a piece of paper, like a cardstock. I'll cut a center hole out of it. I'll put reuse some of the clear package, and then I'll put dried flowers or even tea bag herbs. Like if you're using your tea and you want to take out some, dry it, you can use that behind it, and it just gives a little texture. Sometimes I've used it behind tissue. So there's lots of places that you can get things that you probably never even thought about. So where's the place that you guys have gotten stuff that may be unusual? Anyway, we're 38 minutes into it. I'm going to go ahead and see if this is glued now. Let's see. If it's not glued, guys, I know you'll get the idea. Let's see. Okay. It's glued enough for the tutorial. Of course, I'll let it dry more off camera. So anyway, basically what that is you have this, and you've created your pocket, your belly band, and then this part is now interactive, because then it comes from there and glues your journaling spot in place with a cute little die cut. All right, so that is going to be the tutorial for today. You got your tutorial, and then you got a bonus. So there's 2 ways that you can make that accordion journaling spot interactive. If you find another way to make these, hey, say it in the comments, share it with everybody. And until next time, I hope you guys have fun crafting. I'm going to leave my link for my my episode 1 of Quiet Time Crafting. Hope you guys enjoy that series. I know I really enjoyed making the first. I really made a lot of things from just sitting down, and it even took my inspiration off camera, so I end up making a bunch of things. So come get inspired with me in my quiet time crafting, and let's see what we can create together. All right, guys, until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!